Good morning. I think we are up. Hi everyone. Wow, lots of chatter this morning already. Not going to be able to catch up on all of that. No OBS trouble. So I'm a couple of minutes late because I did something that I've been meaning to do before every stream for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 streams. I did this. I made a coffee toilet break sign. Finally, because I'm going to need more coffee today. So there you go. How is that? Yes. Ooh, lots of new faces, I think. Or new faces, new names in the chat. Names I have not seen before, but plenty I have. So, let's do a quick hello to everybody. In no particular order, and I'm sorry if I missed anyone before this, but good morning, Adam, Michael, hello, Gregory. Georgie, sorry, I apologise, Georgie. Okay, my chat's really far away from me, I need to lean forward. It's a little tiny text. The Embedded Hobbyist, good morning. Acrobatic, hey mate, thanks for joining. For those that aren't aware, Acrobatic's got a YouTube channel as well. He does some really cool maker projects, and he's also started live streaming again pretty regularly. So for those that aren't aware, let me oh, it's not letting me grab his channel. That's interesting. Why is his channel not appearing? Oh, I'll have to post a channel soon. Channel link. But go check out Acrobatic's YouTube channel. Evzen, good morning. My camera is in the way of... I can't see. Hey Mark Olsen, good morning. Hello mate. Bleep Track, hello. Andy Mouse, good morning. Oh, this scrolling really hurts my eyes. Hey Helmet. Good morning, Rat Madness. Hello, Christopher White. And Paul. Okay, I need a better way of doing this in the morning. Andy Calloway, hello. Ariel, good morning. Rota, hello. Hey Jim. From Canada. Hey James. Oh, James, haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're well. Dave Darko. He also does videos. Filament 14 presents now. What? Oh really? I did not know that. Thank you for posting Acrobatic's channel. Dave, I didn't know he does that. When did that happen? Must have missed that. Hello, Yombo Prime. And Ahmad. Hello. Rob. Good morning. Hello, Sid. Hey, Johnny. Hey, AK Soggy Buns. And Christian. Hello. Okay. I might have missed people. I apologise. Oh, hello, Joe Anon. And Eric. And Julian Shenanigans. Wait. Julian Shenanigans. Hey, Benjamin. Yeah, I missed a whole bunch of people. Aaron Knox. Hello, Bruce. What happened then? Hey, Arturo. Where did all... Okay, something happened with my list. Hi, Robert. Official Zim. And Ian. Yeah, okay, something happened with my... It must have just jumped and I missed everything. And another Robert. And Simon. Okay, I'm looking back now. This is bad. This is crazy. Okay, yeah. It's the shed shenanigans. Hey Darius. Hey David. Sorry. Another David. Philip. Dean. Okay, wow. I'm getting really bad at this. Hi Dennis. Hi Cheetah Kid. Dustin Watts. I can just sit all morning say hi to people. It's going to take forever. I hope you're all doing well. Sorry, that was a bit crazy. We need to, oh, hello, Fred. We need to do just a check out everyone's stream, everyone's channel video again. Oh my god, I can't even talk this morning. Check out everyone's channel on my live stream again, where we just all go and check out everyone's channels. Wow. Hey, Nicole. Yeah, I could say hi all morning at this rate. Hi, Albert. Hey, Teletronics. So, for those that just joined, for those that missed it, just waited to get 400 watching. Yeah, the good news is not all 400 say hi in the chat. So, that would be a nightmare if I had to say hi to 400 people. That'd be bad. So, for those that just missed it, I finally set up a coffee break image, because I'm going to need extra coffee today. I tell you what, when my coffee runs low, I will pay anyone in the chat $100 to go get me another one. There you go. Because I am running on absolute empty right now. If you're getting some buffering, maybe try restarting your browser. Not your browser, just refreshing the page, I meant. Yeah, refreshing the page. Don't restart your browser. In the chat. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say that out loud. Oh, Julian's back. The real Julian's here. Wow, that was really confusing, Julian. Hi, Craig. Hey, Ezzy. Hey, local Horst. That's milk with some coffee. No, it's a pretty strong coffee. I think it's just the lighting doesn't make it. But yes, it's a lot of milk. A lot of milk. Julian's, he's schizophrenic. Maybe. Wow, that was odd. Amazon Fire Stick went to screensaver. Yeah, Amazon doesn't like me. So, crazy times, crazy days. Yes, and an insulated glass. Many PCs not like the 60 frames. No, it's not Irish coffee. I wish, but then I won't get any work done. I have enough trouble focusing in the stream as it is. I wouldn't be able to focus, I don't think. So yeah. So you all having to drop to 480p? No. Really? I have been having, or me in general, have been having internet problems over the last 3 or 4 days. I've had our internet drop out a bit, so hopefully that won't happen this morning, because everyone should still be asleep right now. Where had we left the test jig? So we left it, I've done a tiny little bit of work on it, but yes, we're going to finish the new test jig today. I need to finish it. So I finally got my machine set up where I could run multiple copies of Eagle, which is really cool. Unfortunately, it spews up a terminal window every time it launches one, and there's a way I can fix that. I just haven't got around to it yet. So that's going to be essential today for what I need to do, the new stuff I need to do to get the board finished. But let me just get set up. Because I am running a little bit late this morning, as usual. It's getting harder and harder to get up in the morning, I have to admit. Lost my OBS window. Okay, so here's where we kind of left it last time, where, for those, a quick catch up for those that didn't catch the last stream about this. I think it was 3 streams ago, I can't remember. My area got ambient maintenance yesterday. Wow, 8 hours it was down, no way. I mean, mine's just been going on and off, like it would disconnect and reconnect, you know, it'd be down for maybe 5 minutes or something. Hey DIY Projects. Hello Scott. If I've missed saying hi to anyone that's popped in, I apologise. It's too hard to track everyone now. So a quick catch up. Yes, oh yum, ketchup. So I'm making a new test jig, which is it's basically a new version of my TinyPICO test jig, which is this one here. Yes, I'm using the open /-n blah blah blah. It shuts the terminal window down for me. That's okay, but I don't want it bringing the terminal window up at all. I don't want to see that. Like, it's got to happen in the background. There's a way that you can fool the shell script to think it's an app, and then it won't open that window. That's all. You're welcome, Scott. You solved your insensibility by insulting Unify Gear. Yeah, I insult NBN all the time, and it does not help my intermittent problems. So this is my... Just quickly go back to here. This is my TinyPICO, one of my TinyPICO test jigs, where the TinyPICO goes in here, and it gets clamped down, and it gets tested. And so I needed to make a new one of these for my Nano, but obviously I can't use Pogos. And then I also need one for my ProS2 and my FeatherS2, which I have news about. And so I decided to make a hybrid one. Well, that's what we decided last stream, that I was making one just for the Feather, but we worked out, I think we did it collectively, I'm pretty sure we did, that if I make this section here, where the pins are to be, let me just highlight it here for you all. If I made that here, if I made daughter cards that sat on that plugged into there, I could make one multi-purpose test jig that I could connect a daughter board into to use to test any type of board, right? As long as it's got enough I/O to test my board with the most I/O, then I don't need to use all the I/O for every single board, right? So the Pogos won't be on this board. The Pogos would be, for instance, for the ProS2 or the FeatherS2 would be on a daughter board. The daughter board would connect to this and pass through the pins that I need in the order I need. So one test jig, different daughter boards. That's where we got up to. And so I spent some time doing some fancy routing. We had some interesting discussions about the way I should orient these chips. And the reason, just to recap, the reason I went this way with my orientation of the chips and not split them half-half, like people were suggesting, is these. So these are MCP 23017s, so they're I2C muxes. They've got 16 digital I/O on each chip, so 32 digital I/O between these two, and I can control them by I2C. So they're like this because now they're in order. So my GPIO, for instance, going from, oops, wrong direction. So from here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 16, and from here all the way across to 16. So it means that my I/O stays in order, and when I'm addressing the I2C muxes, I can address them in order, if that makes sense. So I could have routed this much neater. I could have rotated the chips and done half of each chip on each side. So I could have done this half of the chip on this side and this half of the chip on this side. But it would have meant that when I was going through the I/O list for each board, I would have to do pin mapping. And I didn't want to do software pin mapping to try to work it all out, because that just leads to mistakes, if that makes sense. Did I miss anything in chat? Probably. And again, if I've missed saying hi to anyone, I apologize, but hello. Hello, Tim. What's the time right now? It is 6:45 a.m. My streams are starting at 6:30 a.m. at the moment. Because so lots of people ask me why my streams are so early, especially other folks in Australia, and it's because most of my community right now are in Europe. Most of my community when I first started my channel were from Europe, and that's, probably Europe and the US are the biggest now, but yeah, Europe still is by far, I think, the biggest. And so I've always kind of targeted my timing for my streams to accommodate the most people in my community. I feel like I'm alienating all the Aussies, and I'm really sorry. Quite a few of you get up early to watch my streams, which I really appreciate. Many of you catch it afterwards, but yeah, that's why I get up. That's why I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday morning, is for all of my EU community. Yeah, and as it is, I wish I could start earlier, because it's late for many of you. I know that already. It's because of the daylight savings. So 2 months ago it was much better because daylight savings hadn't changed yet, and so I could start my stream at 7:30 in the morning instead of 6:30, and it was still an hour earlier for everyone. But yeah. Hey ho Jad, how you doing? David lives in the past, I live in the future. Hey Mirko, What are you testing with this I/O expander? So I will be... Okay. Might as well get to the... So, just quickly before we get back into the PCB design, just quickly, is John? Do you know John Oxa? Probably not, he'll be asleep. So, I have, you know what, I've not even plugged this in. Wow, I don't even have my camera connected. Okay, I've got no overhead camera right now. I'll just show you here, that's fine. So I've kitted up a whole bunch of FeatherS2s. I ended up making more by hand after my last video. I made another 8 completely by hand, never again. So that's my FeatherS2. So I have 14 of them now, and I've been working on my store. Hello, Dennis. I'm trying to. Has everyone been checking out my positioning? I shouldn't have got off my seat. Hey, Graham. Yeah, Graham's up early to watch on the crappy internet, living the life. Sorry, mate. I really appreciate you getting up early. I appreciate all the Aussies and New Zealanders that get up early to watch my stream. And Scott, if that was you, thank you very much for just backing me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Hey, Ray. So, sorry, I'm just all over the place. What was I just saying? I'm lost. Right, I've also been working on my... Do I have the link? Let me see if I got the link. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. Not the link, the, hang on. Sorry. No, not that one. Could be this one. I think it is. Sorry, we'll get there in a second. So, it's not really ready to be used, but I mentioned, I think last week, that I am putting together one store. I'm building a store on unexpectedmaker.com where I'm going to be selling everything. I'll still be selling on Tindy, and I'm going to move all my products from TinyPICO.com. So TinyPICO.com will stay, but all of my shop will be on unexpectedmaker.com. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've got people who will buy a Reflow Master off me off Tindy, and they'll buy a TinyPICO and some shields off TinyPICO.com, and they'll do it at the same time, but they're paying shipping in 2 different places. So I'm going to leave all my Tindy stuff there, because lots of people find me for the first time on Tindy, but I'm putting together an Uber store on unexpectedmaker.com where all of my products will be. So when people want to buy stuff, they don't have to buy from different places, if that makes sense. Are you going to share your door-to-board designs online? Yeah, I'm going to build them today. That's what I need to do. The next step on my test jig is to work out if I need to put door-to-boards. I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. I've been working on a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm inching forward on about 20 different things, but this is coming together slowly, so that's good news. And I've got 14 FeatherS2s ready to go now, which is really cool. I'm actually out of connectors. I can't even build any more by hand if I wanted to, because I'm out of the quick connectors, these guys here. I have an LCSC order that has taken, it left a week and a half ago, and it's still in Hong Kong. So it's a massive order actually. When it gets here, it's going to get stuck in customs as well, because it's thousands of dollars worth of stuff, so I'm going to get hit with customs fees and stuff. But yeah, until that comes in, I can't make any more. And will it be made on the P&P? Probably not. Not yet. Is live stream the moving circle part? Is the live stream the moving circle part? I don't understand what that means. But hello, Michael. So, anyway, yes, I wanted to share that I've been working on the shop. That's exciting. Yeah, more to come on that soon. Is that a buffering joke? I don't know. Hello, Craig. Are those staggered pins? If so, quite weird as I watch Julian. Yes, they are staggered pins. That doesn't mean that so my hope with this is that I will be able to. I got to find them. Like, well, yeah. I need to show what I want to do with this. I need to explain it. So even though they're staggered pins, I don't think I'm going to be able to plug the daughter board in and have that make good enough contact, right? But it's not going to hurt having them staggered anyway. But what I'm going to do is put female headers. But what I'd like to do, because of the height, is I'd like to put the female headers on the bottom underneath the board. And what I want to use, if I can find some. No. Just hold on 1 second. I'm going to do it again. I'm getting up again. Why are all these stuck? Okay. These are all stuck. Autofocus. Autofocus of this one. No, the camera should be locked on focus. So I really need to plug this other camera in. Really annoying. I might do that in a moment. So I'm not sure if you've all seen these headers before. So they're female headers, they're surface mount, but the pins are on the side, which means the holes go through, if you can see that. So unlike a through hole header, so here's a through hole female header where the pins line up at the bottom and there's, right, so the other pins can't go through. So what I'd like to do, instead of mounting female headers on the top like this, and then the daughter board plugs into that, which is going to be quite high, what I'd like to do is use obviously longer versions of these. I don't mind if they're double for extra stability, and I want to put them on the bottom underneath the board, and I want the daughter board to plug in through the top and then clamp into the bottom, so the daughter board will sit not flush, you know what I mean, but it'll sit only a couple of millimeters above the board. That's my plan. Hey James, good morning. So I need to source long ones of these, and I have to be 100% sure that I've got the right set of number of pins and everything before I do it, because finding headers like this is actually quite hard, and they're much more expensive than buying headers off, you know, LCSC. Yeah, surface. Whoop, dropped it. Dropped it. A black header on black carpet. I don't really want to step on it and roll over it, but I can't see it. Oh well, it's lost. It's lost forever. Let me just put this plug back on. Did the P&P arrive already? God, I'm doing a really bad job of hiding. GPIO 9 and 10 is possible to use without any issue. Hello, Suhail. GPIO 9 and 10 on what? Use a flashlight. Yeah, I don't have... Oh, actually, I might have a... Oh, I've got one on my phone. Don't I? That's a good point. I always forget I've got a flashlight on my phone. If I can find it. Oh, there we go. Oh, got it. Thank you to whoever that smart person was. Hello, Charlie Smoke. Have you tried for Yukon? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying that, like, they're hard to find. Like, you can't find them on AliExpress and places like LCSC. They're hard to find. Plenty of places on Alibaba, but then you've got the issue of having to buy a stack of them. For Yukon are really expensive if you're buying small quantities. Quite often their shipping cost is like $100 US, no matter what you're buying. So Black header on black carpet is now a footer. That's very funny. I like the idea. I spent the last days designing a case for a Neo 7 segment Wi-Fi clock. PCB design use female headers, but like you say, it adds to the depth. Yeah, I want to do them the other way around. So that's my plan, but having them staggered just gives it a bit more stability. Yeah, if that makes sense. So everyone's, hey Harry, right, okay, wow. So my plan for the stream, oh, I've got to turn the heater off. It is getting hot in here now. My plan for the stream was to sit like this the whole time, not get off my chair, and not show you what's behind me. But it didn't work because I forgot and I got up straight away. So that leads me to a question. I have a question. Hey Paul, is it too late to place bets? Yeah, Paul started a book about whether I'm going to get distracted or whether I'm going to get this board done. I think it might be a bit of both. Yeah, it's a big machine and it's heavy. So, okay, I've got an unboxing video coming out on Friday. So I'm not going to talk about it before then. You're all going to have to wait. I'm not going to do anything. Sorry. What little web we weave. Hey, Jet Gyrotech. It is gorgeous. It's a beautiful, it's a fantastic machine. Kinda. We'll get there. Unboxing video on Friday. You're all going to have to wait till Friday. And up until then, yes, it's days away. But I have a question. Are there any Altium users in the chat right now? I have a request from anyone that's an Altium user that has access to Altium. Does it have a USB port where you can put things in? Oh, lots of... Okay, great. I need someone to export like a Centroid file, a pick and place file for me and send it to me. I don't care what it's for, as long as it's got components in it. I need you to export whatever the standard way of doing a Centroid file is and send it to me, please, because the software importer on the machine is designed to parse an Altium Centroid file, and I can't get it to parse my Eagle Centroid file. And no, it can't be Circuit Studio. It's got to actually be Designer. I believe the file format is slightly different. Yeah, it won't parse it, and I don't know what's wrong with my Eagle file. I need an Altium file to open and compare, so I can see. And I'm sure it's just it's either slightly wrong formatting or wrong order of columns. I don't know. Sometimes you put things in USB port and then something doesn't work. Bad job. Right, I get it. Thanks, Dennis. Yes. For those that missed the video, my video about my last stream, there's nothing wrong with my charge board. It works great. There's nothing wrong with it. It works awesome. I was flashing my Reflow Master Pro because it was plugged in as well. Yeah, the file's the CSV, but the error I get is just parsing error. Like, it doesn't tell me specifically what's wrong with it, and so it could just be that it's looking for a fixed order of something. I just need to compare. I need to be able to open both files and see what the difference is. Yeah, flashing the wrong board. That was embarrassing. It really was. It took me 2 hours after the stream finished to work out what I'd done. It could be line termination. I don't know. I've tried comma delimited, I've tab delimited, and space delimited. So it's not the delimiting factor. It could be line termination. Yeah, because it's coming from a Mac. It could be all sorts of things. But if I can get an Altium file and it imports okay, then I can compare the two and find out what's wrong, if that makes sense. Yeah, my poor Reflow Master Pro flashed it so many times. Even after the stream, I kept flashing it. Hey, Alan, good morning. So you're going to have to wait till Friday. Yep, okay. Let's move on, shall we? Flashed. Okay. Yeah, I know I can flash it a lot of times, but still, I felt bad. Hey, Antonin. Hey, Shaq. Shaq is here with some acronyms. Excellent. So what I need to do now that I can do multiple boards, where do I send the Altium file? You can send it to just, sion@unexpectedmaker.com. Would be awesome. Thank you. I'm going to end up with stacks of Altium files. That's okay. The more the merrier. Because, Johnny, yours will be coming from Mac. Oh, no. Because Altium's only on Windows, isn't it? Right. So it's going to have to be from Windows anyway. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Mike. Good morning. So what I need to do is launch another Eagle. And before I finish routing this board, and it's getting pretty close, what I need to do is bring in my, if I can find them, I need my ProS2 footprint and my FeatherS2 footprint. So here, for instance, is my FeatherS2. And so what I need to do is I'm going to hide everything, and then I just want the pads and origins. No, and what else do I need? Why is it not letting me grab it? Oh, because I grabbed it from the wrong end? No? Wow. What else do I need? Top, origins. Origins should let me grab it. Okay, that's annoying. It can be a real pain sometimes. I just need the headers. It's not letting me grab the headers. Why won't it let me grab the headers? Ah, come on, Eagle. Have I got not got it selected? I do have it selected. It's not letting me grab these headers. Are they locked? Use the holes layer. No, I shouldn't have to use the hole layer. Yeah, no, they're not part of the library. This is just a... I can't remember where I originally got... Oh, I know why. Because they're centered. Right. This is Adafruit's board. There you go. They're centered. That's a bit frustrating. I've never seen centered headers before. So yeah, this was originally lifted off Adafruit's design. I didn't want to redesign the board. I wanted to just use theirs. So I need to now paste that. Yes, I don't need to back. Hello. Oh, it's not going to let me paste them. You got to be kidding me. Am I going to have to save a design file just of these? Oh, that is so frustrating. Oh, you know, okay, I'm going to have to grab them from here. There's so many frustrating things about Eagle. I know I should explore KiCad more. I can't even find where's the can't even find the center of this one. Oh my gosh. I think the paste worked. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. It says it can't back annotate. So you can't. So it says do it in the schematic, but I don't have. I'm pretty sure if I paste it in here, it won't do it because I haven't copied it from the schematic. So, and I can't find. God, what's that doing over there? Okay, it's getting a bit annoying. I can't find where the center of this control is. Let's get rid of the nets. Oh, here it is. So I need that and that. If I copy those, and if I paste them into here, the problem is they're going to be in the wrong spot. It's just going to stick them down the bottom. See? Eagle for the win. Some really awesome new things about KiCad today. We should have a coffee sometime and chat about it. Yeah, look, I'm happy to. Type in the command box move JP2 to find the origin. Hey, Savage Electronics. Yeah, I always forget that I can use the command line. Always forget. So I'm going to have to just move these up. Oh, go away. And I'm going to have to position them based on these positions. That's really frustrating. So I just, yeah. 1025, 75. Just for now, so I can get their position. 1025, 75. And this one is, at least I got two eagles open. 1225, 875. 1225, 875. Okay. So they're the positions. So if I now grab that and that, why is it not letting me grab both? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. And I should be able to group them now. Where's the group command gone? New group. Call that FeatherS2. And I can move them to the side just for now. Because what I need to do is see here. So obviously my header pins are in a bad place. Because I won't be able to make a daughter board if I do that. Does that make sense? So I need to work out my spacing and then make sure that my adapter headers are either inside or outside that space. So I might have to make them wider. So that's the feather one. Now I need to do my ProS2. Okay, so here's my ProS2, and I need that one, and you know what? I'm going to give me the same problem. I just need one of them. Copy, paste. There are two of these. Doesn't matter what they are. I just need their spacing. Also, I hate how Eagle sticks stuff all the way down the bottom, like that. Okay, and so my spacing, if I'm missing anything in chat, I apologize. Can you switch the zooming to Eagle style? What was that? An LTM online course. Sorry if I've missed any of the chat. Just add me again if you need me to see it. So spacing here is 200, 150. And 200, 750. Okay, so Come on. It's not letting me grab both again. It's getting really annoying. I don't want to go to move. Thank you. New group. ProS2. And you can see here, these will fit inside. No, they won't. That's also too close. Okay, so I'm going to have to... And then I've got, obviously, these are my Nano ones. So they fit inside fine. Wouldn't it be the daughter board width be the largest you need any board? That's right. That's why I just need to know where I want to do it. So obviously I could have just done it based on the feather rod, but I was just curious to know. I wanted to have these in here anyway so I could just compare, so I can line them up. But clearly this needs to be wider. I don't know how much wider, but let's add an extra 50 there and bring it back 50 here. That's probably still not enough. No, it's gonna have to be massively wide. Okay, so this USB might be a problem. I might have to go to a Type C after all. Yeah, I don't want to go that far. Let's see how close I can get it. 525, so an extra 50. And I've got that header over the hole that I have to be careful because a screw goes through there and a standoff. Yeah, that's still not enough. Okay, so this is where I have a problem. So I could rotate this around and move the... No, that's still going to be not enough. I really don't want to have that USB come in that side. Although this should... I'm not sure why I've got that so far back. That should actually be hanging over. So I could move these a bit more. I don't really think I can move this. I've got to be careful. They have to be concentric. They should be offset overlapping. Could they just be offset overlapping? It's more from a stability point of view, that's all. Yeah, they don't have to be inside. Well, no, see, the problem is, yeah, because I've got 3 different widths, well, potentially 4, because I might convert my, because like Raspberry Pis are expensive, right? Well, comparatively, you know, I don't want to necessarily end up with 7 test jigs, so I might convert my TinyPICO test jigs over to do this, which means I would also need to fit my TinyPICO on here. So I'd have 4 different board sizes that would need to fit inside this. What about using some single board-to-board connectors to the daughter board? Yeah, no, I want something I can just pull out and plug back in. I don't want to use mezzanine connectors. I don't want to use anything. Well, okay, there are all sorts of types of connectors like that I could potentially go for. None of them I have. None of them I've got footprints for. I'd have to go and start researching all of those, and then they've all got height constraints and stuff and stability. I'd have to use multiple ones to lock in place to keep it. This would give me the ultimate swappability and stability, like mechanical strength, doing it this way. So I think that this is the way to go. It's just a matter of I just need to get them just enough inside that the pin spacing, so that there looks right. So although it would be, that'd be painful to route potentially. I'd have to route out and around, maybe. But that's probably as wide as I need. You are overlapping a 4-pin header. Where am I? What are you talking about? Overlapping? Yeah, I can move that. If you're talking about this here, yeah, I can move the screen. That's fine. Why are the pins shifted vertically slightly every odd pin? It's because they're staggered. So it's the same thing I used on these boards, Michael. So it means that you can plug the headers in and they don't move when you solder them. Just some extra stability. I mean, I can make them straight. It really won't make any difference in this case. So my issue from this is going to be routing. The other option I've got is I could do male headers on the test jig, and I could put surface mount female headers on the bottom of the daughter board. I could do that as well. So, does that make sense? Just as another option, central double header for the daughter board connector. But central is not... Well, I can't do central, well, not for the Nano, not easily. I'm worried about stability. Like center is not... Hang on, I need to switch camera, and I've lost my OBS screen with all my things open. Like, I wouldn't want to, even with a double row, like, I don't think I'd want to necessarily... Interesting. If I did male on the test jig and female on the bottom of the daughter board, and the daughter board was surface mount, then that would moving to 4-layer board help? No, 4-layer won't help. This is a spacing issue. Esteban, hello. Can you please stop typing that way, or I'll put you on timeout. Please stop. Thanks. I'll allow for the lag. This stream of consciousness is awesome. I'm learning tons. Okay, thanks, Dustin. Oh. What about doing the GPIO pins at the bottom and then a power ground at the top for mechanical strength? Yeah, it's. I don't want to have to reroute this board. I shouldn't have to reroute this board. I just need to. If I get rid of this A, I've got plenty of room. Because I can also go this direction. Like, I'm not worried about that header. Alright, I've got more space here. USB A type A can be changed to a vertical A type. Yeah, I don't want to go vertical. It just means I've got cables sticking up out of the board in the way of me getting in. I definitely want it sideways, but I thought about just sticking another C on here, another C here the other day. Look, I might just do that. That'll save me a stack of space. So let's do that now. Let's get rid of this A finally. I don't even need these extra resistors for what I'm doing, but God, Eagle, stop sticking stuff all the way down there. I think I know why it's doing it as well. What am I doing? Spinning. So I stick that there, for instance. Oh, those resistors. Resistance is futile. I'd really like to have a version of Eagle that didn't have these constraints on where I can place stuff. Not sharing Eagle. What are we not sharing? What? Hey, Brian. I know you said you didn't want to, but just showing you this way. Yeah, I know there are 100 different ways I can lay this out, but I think changing the layout right now is not necessarily the thing that's going to solve it for me. Cam view, not screen. What? You can put USB on the narrow end and still have a side exit. A what? So Mark's suggesting, oh, right, you know, the guys aren't even seeing what I'm doing. Wow, I had the wrong screen open. Mark's suggesting that, yeah, that's again a nightmare to route and not really what I want to do. Again, there are 100 different ways I could array headers on here to do this. A vertical right angle USB. Right, okay, yeah, a vertical right angle, except I don't have any. I'd have to, like, everything you see here I've got everything in stock. I've got all the parts, I've got proven footprints, you know what I mean? I don't have to go and find anything else to do this. I can get these boards made and build them. I don't have to order parts or anything else, right? So that's an important thing for me. Hey, Kenneth. Hello, David B. Yeah, wrong screen, thank you. Hey, Aaron, I'm sorry about that. I had another Eagle window open and I couldn't see my OBS screen. Look, I've already extended the length of the board once. I don't really want to do that again. So I might just go the 2 USB-Cs and be done with it. And then it's just done. And I've got plenty of space. Doesn't need another tool, just a sharper one. Are you talking about my brain? Here's a thought, why don't you route and lay it out how you think is best? It's not a matter of best or not best, right? It's just a matter of like, you got to remember, I still have to leave space here. Yeah, it's just yeah. It's fine. I think that if I do this, I've got plenty more space now. I can even go probably to 700. And then, problems moving this again, but oh well, I'll have to. Right, that gives me stacks of space and it gives me room to route. So I think I'm going to go with this spacing here. I don't even know why I've got, that was for the old USB. I don't even need that, I don't think. I'll worry about that later. Because it's going to be on a daughter board now. Aces of space. Okay, so if I go with this, how do I find my groups now? For selection, groups. Not going to let me select my group, no. What's the point of making groups if you don't have a selection system for it? Object type, can I go group? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I just want to move these back out again, if I can. Okay, so I need to fix this routing. Wow, that's ugly. No. You know what? I'll fix these later. I'll fix them later. I need to... Okay, so with the daughter boards, middle letter boxes don't get unpacked anymore. I can tell from my own experience. What? So I'm going to need some type of, daughter board that sits on here. That's going to be, so probably something, I mean, it doesn't really matter how big. Oh, right. So my issue is going to be that is going to, but that's going to hit. Maybe, maybe not. A motherboard, not a fatherboard. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know who named that. Maybe because mothers can give birth and fathers can't. So my daughter board's going to sit, I guess, something like that in terms of size. It's pretty big. And then anything I need to fit is going to go inside there. So what are these dimensions? 2075 by, was it 1250? Okay. So just for fun, be something like that. I don't know how many I can fit. Probably not a lot because of my space constraints. Yeah, excellent. Good one, Eagle. So you can't have components hang off the edge, but you can have non-components like these document stuff. It's called motherboard and daughter board due to the old tradition of referring to all machines as women. Is that actually true though? Groups are in the device manager drop down. Oh, really? It's a bit weird. Okay, so I'm also going to need one for the, it's not going to let me move these, is it? Are they locked? It's not letting me move them. It's not going to let me put in those there, but, yeah. Okay. And then one for the Nano, one for the, TinyPICO, maybe. Why is it not a can of snails? I don't know. Why is it not a can of snails? My coffee's empty, by the way. It's almost time to test out my new image. Have you ever heard someone refer to their car as old girl? I have, yes. The daughter board is going to clash where the screen is going to go, for sure. And I do have a bit of space to move the screen. I don't actually, because there's a screw in the way. Yeah. I'm going to have to move some of this a bit, for sure. But I don't know how much I've got to move it. I have to move it a lot. Yeah, this screen's a real problem now because of the length of the daughter board. I've got space to move this. I can definitely move these over a little bit. And I don't even know if I want. I'm not going to have the JST on here anymore. I'm going to get rid of the JST, I think. Mark, thank you. You got to stop doing that, buddy. Every stream. I mean, I appreciate it, but every stream. That's the connection. You can blame the British. Yes, the British. It's always the British. Or the Romans. If you're making daughter boards for each of the tiny boards under test, might as well expand the size of the test jig and have the test boards directly mounted. Test boards directly mounted on the main board. No. Why do I want to have the test boards on the main? I don't want them on the main board. I want them on a daughter board. I want to be able to reuse. I don't want a board this big. That doesn't make any sense, Shaq. Like, I keep losing my OBS window, sorry. Like, that's my current board now. Like, I've got room here, right, that it can overhang a bit. And on this side, I've already increased it a little bit. I don't want a board that's this long. This long, you know what I mean? I want one. And I can't put multiple. Like, the daughter boards was not about not being able to fit them onto the main board. The daughter board was about making one test jig that can work with any of my boards. That's what the daughter board was about. So I can't decide if I want to keep the JST or not. So right now the JST is really not going to work properly because I need to put in, well, I've got some stuff here to be able to put a switch on to test it. But they say size is not important. It is on a test jig, especially when it needs to balance. But I used to have, hang on, I might still have it, but I bet you I didn't move it. That's going to be really annoying. I thought I had an outline for the screen that was on here so I could see where it was, but clearly I don't. That's really annoying. I thought I did. So if I take one of these screens out, so here's the screen for my test jig. I just need to measure its size. Okay, so it's roughly 28 by 28. Doesn't look square. So 28 by 28. So if I put this here, and of course I need to be in millimeters. Okay. Really? Okay. It's gonna need to be much more than that. So if I went, what's half of 28? 14. I don't know. So 50 and 28 is 78. And if I put that, just so I can get the size, 78. I like how it doesn't update this. That's a bit weird. Oh no, where did it go? It's behind, it's inside this one. Let me just move this. Oh no, it's down. Where is it? What did I just do? Anyone know? Rectangle from. Oh, right. I did the wrong things. I did them in the wrong order. And that one's 50. Did the fields wrong. Yeah, start and end the same place. Yep. Wow, is that the size of this? That doesn't look right. Maybe it is. Wow, that screen's massive. And remember, I was going to do it this way, but that's going to go where that screw is, so that's not going to work. So it needs to go. So if I put the screen there, whoops. I'm going to have to fix all this routing later. So if the screen is roughly there, and I mean, I can rotate that button. Might be a bit hard to press because of the screen being elevated. Although I guess I could, yeah. Okay, so that'll work, assuming that my measurements are roughly correct. Roughly. Button can move to the top right if it has to, give you more space. Top right's being used, JST, and this. And I need to stick the JST load stuff, all of this. If I'm going to use it, then this stuff here. Oh, come on, Eagle. Needs to fit up here as well. I mean, this button can move. This is the power down button, the soft power. This is the LED, RGB LED, which again can be easily moved. I'll fix the routing here in a moment. And that button can get right close to the edge if it has to. Wow, look at all this routing mess. Won't the JST fit under the screen? Yeah, I need to be able to get to it. So once it's all together, right, I mean, there's acrylic and stuff on the top for, I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to do that in terms of the shape. I'm going to have to make a custom acrylic top for each shape to guide the board, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to get access. If the JST is under the screen, I mean, I guess I can go on this side. If you mean put the JST, switch screen again, almost forgot. So if you're talking about putting the JST down here, I guess I could. I don't really want to have a cable coming out. I'm trying to keep the cables on each side. What's the JST for? To be able to check that the battery works. So I actually had it on this test jig, but I didn't have it switching. So yeah, the idea is that the board gets, so the reason I never implemented the JST is I didn't have a way of checking it properly on this board without just checking it visually. But the idea is that I run the board, I test the board, and then I can turn the battery on, shut down power to the USB, which would keep the board on, and then check that the board is still on. Like, check that I can still see the board in terms of I/O. But I can't do that if USB is disconnected, right? So the only way to check if that works is if the lights, like if I still have flashing RGB light while the battery's turned on, and that becomes a visual check. And if it's a visual check, then that's a problem, right? Because that's easy to overlook. And the only way around that would be to stick some type of light sensor near the RGB LED and make sure that it's detecting light when the battery is on. But that's, again, stacks more circuitry, and that would need something that sits over the top of the board, and that's going to be in a different place. And then some boards like my Nano doesn't have any LEDs on it. Hello, weather dude. So I don't really have a way of testing, like switching the battery on and off I can do. Testing that it's running on battery, I can't. So on the ProS2 and the FeatherS2 I can, because I can technically... No, I can't. Well, right, so what I could do, so this becomes a software problem, but what I could do was, I could say, I just need to detect that the battery's actually working, right, and the board's still powered, is all I need to do, right? I can't really detect if the battery's charging or not, whatever. But I could, just before I shut down power, I can turn the battery on. I can set one of the I/O to be an output on the test board, as, you know, like let's say it's I/O 4. I can set that high. I can turn the power off, and then I can read I/O 4 connection. Coffee time. I think so. I could read IO4 connection from the Pi to make sure that IO4 is still on with the battery, and then I can turn the power back on and battery off or whatever, right? So I can do it. It's going to become a software problem. How much room is there on the other side of the board? Who's a greedy pig? What did I do? It's almost coffee time, yes. What do you mean on the other... What, define other side of the board? I mean, I can get the JST down here, right? It doesn't have to be squeezed up there. I mean, I've got all this room here now. What I could even do is... I mean, I'm not really space constrained now if I'm going to... The reason I didn't want to move this other stuff around before is because I had all this acrylic that was lined up already. The sausage eating Sion. What? Under. Oh, no, I'm not doing a double-sided board. If I can get it. No, I don't want to do a double-sided board. I shouldn't have to do a double-sided board. Look, I think this is going to be fine. Yeah, the bottom. I'm not doing... Yep. I have a breakfast kits in the freezer. Sausage, bacon, and black pudding. Wow. Frozen breakfast. I don't think I've ever done frozen breakfast before. With so much free space on the board, what about one of those big 18650 holders? Why do I don't want to... Are you joking, Mike, about the 18650 holders? Firstly, I don't want to stick an 18650 on there. I don't want to have to put battery protection on there. I need to be able to keep this battery charged, maybe, as well, or not. No, it's going to be a... No. You were joking? Okay, thanks. Thanks, Mike. I think we're getting into coffee time. Second coffee time. Look, that's going to work, I think. That's going to be fine. Hate labels. Labels, go away. Okay, so I'm going to need to fix this. Actually, let's move this out of the way. So that's the old one. Okay, this is not from Pi, this is connect to board under test. Why am I using capitals? I don't know. What am I doing? Stop the capitals. Wow. What a fool. I'm a fool. Okay. That connects to the board under test, and I am only connecting. So VBus is disconnected because that power is not coming from the board. Oops, not shield. And D plus and D minus, that is fine, and ground is fine. What is that? Don't know why that is there. Oh no, over there as well. Disconnect VCC from the USB by MOSFET and then check over USB. The board is still there. Right, well that's what I'm doing anyway. I am switching VBus on and off. So, I mean, technically serial could still be running at that point. Like, I could still have a connection. So that's another way to do it. That should already potentially work. What? I'm up to 324. 327. That is nuts. But, board under test. I prefer Kaiko, and yeah, I have tried many of the others. Hey, G-Bown. I'd like to be proficient in Eagle and KiCad. I've got too much work in Eagle to abandon Eagle. I'm never going to get rid of it. Why are the USBs facing different sides? Seems so wrong. Because they're two different purposes. So this one is always connected to the Raspberry Pi, and I want the cable going behind. I don't want the cable in the way. I thought about sticking this one all the way over here and just having the join on this side, but the problem is I don't want my data lines traveling this far from this side of the board to this side of the board. So not when I've got other stuff being routed through. So just like on my current one at the moment, right, I've got Raspberry Pi comes out here and goes around into the back, just there, into a micro B, and then this cable here comes out and in to here. So I've got one loop here, one loop here, and one loop there, and the cables are not twisted. They can't get twisted. They don't go through each other, right? When you're testing thousands of boards, having cable spaghetti mess is a problem. So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to quickly get this ready to be routed, and then I'm going to probably go make a coffee, and we'll do a quick break if everyone is up for that. Well, not that you don't really get a choice, do you, right? Because you can all not be up for it, and I'm still going to do it. Okay, so I've got a fuse here, which really is pointless because I'm using this TP2552, which is a load switch, but it's also got current protection on it, so it will trip and shut down. So I don't really need this fuse. I'm pretty sure the rating on this fuse is even lower though than this, so I might get rid of that. Anyone use Sprint Layout? I've not heard of Sprint Layout. I have too few Eagle files to do much, but at least current version of KiCad can import Eagles. Yeah, I have played around with importing Eagle files. It's still a bit messy. It's not perfect. There are some weird issues that happen, and I can't really trust, like taking something like my Nano or TinyPICO into Eagle. Like I can't be confident. Sorry, into KiCad, I can't be confident that every nuance about my board gets translated. Hey Harry, not heard of Sprint Layout. Okay, so look, I might kit the fuse for now. I can always just not use it. Okay, I just need to fix these. Okay, what size did I make these? Oh, I'm still in millimeters. So I don't know why. I hate working in millimeters. I'm just so used to working in mils that I just can't work in millimeters. It just does my head in. It's something that I need to change, that I need to fix for sure. Someone just asked me something. Do you need to reverse the screen header pins? Now the screen is back to hanging down. Yeah, I will, Paul. Thank you. The data cable is going all the way around. Well, I can't data track because the data cable is shielded, and it's a 2-layer board, and I'm gonna have to route them potentially messy and unshielded. So it's really just for that. And I don't have a problem with the symmetry right now. But right now my aim is to get a routed board, and then I can always revise things afterwards. No problem. But this is a tool. This is not a... this is not a product. Come on. Hit the middle. It's not a product. Like it's at the end of the day, I'm the only one seeing it, and it's going to be covered. And I'm okay with the symmetry, honestly, and I'm also okay with the cable hanging out. Hey Hans, did you miss anything? Nope, nothing at all. Okay, so just need to. Whoops. Yeah, I need to position these resistors a bit better. As I said, they're not even needed, but good practice. Do you have the two USB connectors? I'm missing something. Why do you have two? Right, so again, so the Raspberry Pi, so the USB on the Raspberry Pi, they're not exposed as anything other than USBs, right? So the USB comes out of the Raspberry Pi and into my board, and then my board only has data connected here. So I want to switch the power, right? If the USB came out and directly into the board under test, I've got no ability to cut the power to the board. So this load IC over here not only does the ability to turn the board on and off when I'm testing, but also does short detection, right? So if I have a short, this load switch shuts down and I don't damage my board or potentially damage the USB connector. So this way I can intercept. So I've only got the data lines connected and ground, and then power comes through this, which might now be a problem because of where I stuck those resistors, but no, not my best work. I'll fix that later. I'll fix that later, okay? I just want to get it routed. So does that make sense? That's why I've got two USBs. So I can intercept the power. Yeah, okay, that's just pissing me off now. So let's fix that. Oh, come on. Okay, it's definitely coffee time. So what is this doing? See, Eagle does some crazy stuff sometimes. It really pisses me off. Like that, like you just saw. And then sometimes, see here, it doesn't fix my... Anyway, okay. This is getting annoying. And I'm also routed on the wrong size. Done, whatever. Okay. Have I missed anything? What is the load switch IC? Yeah, I just showed it before. I've got all different types of load switches. I'm using the TPS2552. And there's different variants, and some of them are active high, some are active low. Some do discharge, some don't do discharge. There's all sorts of types. But I've got those, and I use these ones. The Sylogy as well, sometimes. So I've got a whole bunch of different types of load switches. There's into a trace and it leaves tiny stubs of the trace under the pads. Yeah, I hate when it does that, Electron Ash. I hate when it does that. Really frustrating. Okay, so now I can just fix this because that looks really bad. I'm going to have to move this anyway. I'll rearrange all this stuff. That's fine. So that's the USB done. I think it's coffee time. Is everyone okay for a coffee? Yes? Let's do a quick coffee break. And bathroom break if anyone needs. I'll get to put my fancy sign up. Here we go. Back soon. Okay, I am back. And I need the heater back on because it's cold in here. Okay, so, are we dropping frames? I've got some dropped frames. Okay, I just restarted anyway. I restarted, stopped and started OBS. There was only a few drop frames, but it kept just dropping random frames. So, wanted to fix it. Hello, Mr. Watts. Well, I'm assuming Mr. Watts is here because Jet Gyrotech said hello. Look behind the... what am I looking behind the pick and place for? What's behind there? All my dropped frames? OBS on the Mac, yes. My God, it's freezing in here. So I've got my coffee, yay. David drops all the frames. I drop all the mics. Boom. Wow, that was really bad. So, I wanted to, before I forget, show you something. Save that. So where's my, do I have, which one's this one? So that's my ProS2 that I'm making some tweaks for. Hey Shilon, it is 8 o'clock in the morning here right now. So I've been working on, I don't know if any of you have been catching the desk of Lady Ada. She's been doing some live streams recently, and she did a couple on JLC PCB, and the last one was about the way she panelizes her boards, and she has a modified version of the original SparkFun Eagle script that does panelizing, because Eagle's panelizing is non-existent. And so she did a modified version which she tuned to work the way she works, and I asked on the stream if she was going to be sharing that at all, and she said she will, but she said it's not that much different to the SparkFun one. So the SparkFun one I'd played with a while ago, but it had some issues with it. They have actually updated it, but it still didn't do some of the things I wanted it to do. So I've been working on my own modified version of it, and I'll just quickly show it to you, what I've done. So, yes, I'm sure it's going to pop up some. These are just Mac issues, terminal issues. But this is my new. It's not fully finished yet, but this is my new panelizing script for Eagle that I'm working on. And so some of the features I've kept that I don't need, like I'm never going to work in inches, right? But I understand that, like, once I finish this and actually have it working, there's some issues. I'll share this, and yeah, it worked fine until they updated it, and now it's got some wonky issues with it. But some of the things that they updated and added were kind of cool. There were some of the things that I wanted. But anyway, so like I've kept inches in there, and they do things with, they use this fit to size system where it less than or more than whatever space, and it calculates how many boards to put in. But I don't work that way. I just want to be able to say I want X by Y boards. So I've added the ability to do X by Y boards, so I can say I just want 2 by 5, right? Which their system can't do. You have to actually calculate the space. You don't have an umlaut key. What do I need an umlaut key for? And then what I've also done is I've got this JLC and PCBWay settings. I don't use PCBWay, but they've got some stuff in there for it, and I know other people do. And by having these here, technically they can be expanded for other people. So PCBWay have got a smaller minimum route size than JLC. JLC say they're 3mm, but they're not. They actually want 5mm. I've had this discussion with them. I mentioned it before on streams. And so what So right now, this changes some information and also changes the error checking when you click generate. And there are some other things that are different about them, and so I'm going to put more checks in there. And then they also had their fiducials and their edge rails combined, and I've separated them out, so you can do edge rails without fiducials if you want to. And they also do side rails, which I don't like. I've taken that out. I might put side rails back in, but I don't know. And so anyway, so I can, if I go like this and I say, okay, generate, it now goes and builds me a panel. Wow, that's really slow with the stream going. And there we go. And of course, Eagle has got that bug, which is really annoying, which they fixed in the ECAD stuff inside Fusion, where it can only show one board because there's so many board layouts here. It only shows this one, right? So if I click on the manufacturer tab, it only shows me that, which is really annoying. I don't know if that's ever going to get fixed. It was slow because I'm streaming and capturing. It's normally about 10 times faster than that. There's also a lot of stuff that's copying over. So, and what I've done as well is, let's go top. I've got the fiducials close to the edge of the board rather than in the center where it used to put them. And I also want to expose the ability to set the width of the edge rails. I need to start using wider edge rails. Does it add the custom field for the JLC PCB ID on the header? It doesn't need to. If you send boards that are panelized with JLC PCB, they'll always stick their serial number on the edge rail. They only stick it on your board if the board is not panelized. So it doesn't need that JLC rubbish. And I might also put an option for 3 or 4. Why do you keep asking, Shilon? You keep asking the same question. I'm streaming right now. I'm using pretty much all my CPU resources to stream, which is why this is slow. So that's the answer to all of the questions about why so slow. I sort of didn't get penalization. I may not have been paying attention for last year. Is it cheaper? It's actually not cheaper now. It used to be cheaper with JLC PCB, but now it's not. Or it works out about $1 cheaper. The thing with panelization is you need to panelize if you're going to run on a pick and place machine. Right? You don't want to build one board at a time with a pick and place machine. You want to be able to put a whole panel in and then just say go and build a whole bunch of them. So panelization is all about being able to produce multiple boards quicker. And even panelizing, even if you're hand assembling, like obviously I don't want to hand assemble that. That would be a nightmare. So just quickly, the other thing I need to do is get the DRC stuff working where it automatically does a DRC check. Loads the right DRC and does the check. But, let me just get rid of some of this ugly. Yeah. So like, I panelize my, even though I'm hand assembling them, I'm panelizing my fan controllers because it's much quicker to just sit and work on 12 at once with one stencil than stencil up 12 individual boards and then build them one at a time, if that makes sense. JLC ignores my most of the times. Yeah, really inconsistent with JLC PCB with their serial number. What is cheaper than JLC? Nothing. No one is cheaper than JLC PCB. Yeah, Brian's assembling panels of them. It's just easier to work on a panel at once. Takes longer, but it's just easier. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm working on as well, just in the background of all the things I'm currently doing, is a new panelizing system. And as you can see, it's doing the routing stuff. That wasn't working properly, but I've now got it V-scoring only on one direction and leaving route spaces in here, and it's doing the minimum of 5 mil between these two areas, which is good. Hello Zolt. I don't know who IMS PCB are. I get emails from different PCB houses all the time. Thanks guys. Yeah, look, it's, you know, once I get this 100%, I will share it. Obviously it's leveraging the SparkFun stuff. It'll be open on GitHub and people can contribute if they want. But yeah, it's still got a bit to go, but I'm getting there slowly. There's some inherent issues with, obviously I can't run it again. There's some issues with the dialogue system in Eagle, which is, oh god, click on the right place, which is really frustrating. It's you can't redraw the dialogue. You can see here that the text, why isn't the text redrawing now? Oh right, that's fine. Oh, I guess it's not, I'm trying to panelize a panelized board. Yeah, that won't work. Anyway, you can't redraw the dialogue system. You can only update text fields, label fields, which is really frustrating. And so, yeah, I've got some things I need to fix and change the way it works. Only thing is using a good hand wrist angle, not to dodge component already hand placed. Sure. My system is not too good. What system is not too good? Please upgrade my computer. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, my system's fine, thanks. I mean, would I like a new computer? Sure, one day, but nothing wrong with my system. Okay, back to this. Yeah, I don't even know where to go from here now, other than the fact that this is all an absolute mess. The bug in Eagle that annoys me the most is when this drop down one that I've explained before, when I select 8 but it doesn't actually give me 8. Really frustrating. I did have this all nicely routed, didn't I? Did you upgrade your system? It's sitting behind you. I did. And it is sitting behind me. And I'm going to be playing with it all day today, after the stream. All by myself, without anyone watching. How's that for a tease? Ooh, what's happening here? Just telling about your computer. Yeah, I know you're telling me about the computer, but I don't need to upgrade my computer. Not because you think Eagle update is slow. That's not a good reason to update my computer. Wow, see, Eagle sometimes just can't fix. It's another issue. There's lots of issues. They've all got issues. I have a love-hate relationship with Eagle. I really do. Sometimes it's more hate than love. Okay, so let me just get rid of these boxes. They're a bit annoying. You forgot the more haha evil laugh after that tease. No, I didn't forget. It's not nice to tease. Okay, I needed to flip this, as Paul reminded me. Look at that mess. I should have disconnected them first. Should have disconnected. You'd think it'd be smart enough not to do that, wouldn't you? Button 1. I'll fix button 1 in a moment. Wow. I want to put SP32 on a single layer aluminium PCB. What do you think? Easy job? Yeah, what type of SP32? You talking about a module? Should be easy enough. I appreciate you watching the stream. Shilon, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I apologize if I get it wrong. I do appreciate you watching the stream. I understand that it's late for a lot of people. And, yeah. I don't know if I got this back in the right spot, but it's probably close enough. Probably close enough, except now these are going to be the wrong way. Like, I find this type of routing really slow and frustrating. Do you all agree that this is boring? I think it's boring. Oh. Right. Help if these are in front of the right pins. Yes, I know, ugly. My rule is get it routed and then clean it up. If I hadn't already mentioned that. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. Mooney Light gotcha. Hello. It's like raking sand. No, raking sand can be therapeutic. This is not therapeutic. This is just frustrating. Watching someone route. Like that's just ugly. On so many levels, that is ugly. Like really ugly. I bet you they're swapped now. Oh, that's going to be annoying. I'm thinking I should actually do a optimize later, unlike with code. Hey Lloyd, doing some PCB design at the moment too. Do you have any recommendations for an LDO for low power ESP32 operation? I'm using the NCP 167. It's awesome. Why are you unsure? Just because of the size? I mean, there's other, if you want low power, there's the, where is it? Up on my shelf somewhere, if I can find it. You can look at the HT7833. That's a SOT 23 bigger package to work in. It's quite low power. It's only 500 milliamp though, so yeah. I like the headroom of the NCP. Yeah, they're the wrong way around now, and I bet you I flipped them. I don't want to flip them again, but I'm going to have to. There was advantages of having this header the right way around. Oh, what did Mooney Light Gacha say? I missed it. Bet you're not getting, no, not from LCSC. Not all my parts come from LCSC. If your requirement that every part comes from LCSC, you're going to be making some very average boards. There are just some parts that have to come elsewhere, unfortunately. What am I doing? Guess who's getting distracted again? The routing domino effect. What am I going to do here? This is ugly. Just some off-topic nonsense you don't need to worry about. That's okay. All good. You're on 3... What? Brian speaking for all of Ireland. I actually got that the right way round. Yeah, I do. Damn. I might have to just bring I2C all the way up, or all the way down. I might just do this. And not try to... Oh, they're still back to front. Really? Can no one ever... Can companies just not speak to each other and coordinate which direction the I2C is going to sit? Come on. How hard is that? Don't even comment about what I'm going to do right now. I don't want to hear it. Oh, look at that. Eagle won't turn it. I don't want to hear any comments about what I'm doing right now. Oh, that is ugly. No, that is really bad. Come on. Why can't they ever be in order? Sorry, I'm whinging and complaining, and I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. It's just frustrating. It's really just frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. It's a Test Jig, don't spend too much on it. Yeah, I know, but it's just like with I2C, like I don't want to build spaghetti. Like it's important that I've got signal integrity on it. I just, yeah, it's annoying. There's a really obvious solution here, folks. A really obvious solution, and that is this. Come on, rotate. Right. So, see, there's always a solution. It's just a matter of trying to do it on a live stream is frustrating. Celtic party? Blip? What? I'm missing so much interesting chat. I know I am. And that is really frustrating, I gotta say. It's fine. I mean, you guys can talk about whatever you want, but that is still pretty ugly. That is still very ugly. Did I miss anything in chat? I'm building a modular light. Each lamp has 9 LED. String sitting need to be controlled by SP32 because I want... Okay. You're not wanting to power the LED strips from the LDO as well, are you? Because that's not a good idea. You're not going to have enough headroom. I'm asking too much. What have I done? What did I ask you? Slave board now. Is still plain. Yeah, no thank you. You can do it while watching Brian, for instance. What can I do while watching Brian? Yeah, I'm going to go 12 layer board just to fix my I2C stuff. Like, I'm wasting too much time on this I2C stuff, for sure. Did not want to do that. Okay, anyway. So, I'm a bit worried about the power now, here. I'm just going to clean this up, because that is ugly again. And this button needs to come all the way back here. Where was the button? It's up there. Now I could change some of this I/O that's connected, but I've already got code that works for this. Blimey, Lemo. Who's Lemo? No, the power will come for daisy chain, 40 volt DC. Oh, with Lemo connectors. Right. Your stream is a great company while I'm sitting working. Glad to hear, Chris. Oh, yeah, I'm getting some drop frames again, maybe. It could also be that my kids are hammering the internet right now. I think my son is playing Roblox. Test ground. I need to get down to here. So test ground is it's the way I test that the board's connected. Oh wow! So this is a pain. How am I gonna? Really not liking this. I pretty much made life hard for myself. I've made my life really hard doing this. Hello, Prince Tucson. And Lemmy's Aussie. Lemmy. Lemo. What is it? Lemo? I don't know. I've never heard of it before. Hey, Fabio. What are they? What are Lemos, Lemos, something-os, lemons? They're like... Seriously, if you're going to call your name something weird like that, it's bound to get mispronounced. So I need... Where's my grounds? Right. So I pull my ground high. I don't have 3.3 volts there. So I've got one ground there, and where's my other ground? I've got another ground there, but I don't have 3.3 volts going to any of them. That's annoying. Yeah. So I need 3.3 volts coming to there, and I need... Can I route through that? Test ground. Right. This one is an ugly PCB. I hope others that you do in life are much cleaner. Thanks, Shaq. I'm pretty sure that all my PCBs are pretty nice. This right now is not my nicest board, no, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so my test 3.3, that goes to there. Test 5 volts. I can probably take all of that. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Actually, move that over. So, test 5 volts. Soft power I need to fix. Test 3 volts. This I2C is really in the way. So many mods, so little ban hammer. Well, who needs banning? I like people to not ban. Like, I mean, only on the last resort. I try to, as long as people aren't being rude or offensive. You're not allowed to have more coffee breaks. If you do so, we will have to send a Terminator. Really? Nah, 2 coffees is enough for me this morning. But, so I could change some of these pins around to make it easier to route. So where does my test 3.3 volts need to go to? Test ground. They need to be connected. And where's my test? Test reset. Test 3.3 volts number 2. Test 3.3 volts. Right. And that one is test 3.3. Where's my test 2? It's over here. So I have my... Probably want these to be nice and big anyway. I have all the power domains connected to sense pins on the Raspberry Pi. So the 3.3 volts and 3.3 volts number 2, because I've got the second LDO, if I have one connected, they are hooked up to the Raspberry Pi, to a GPIO. And where's that one going to go to? Where's my number 2? Right, have I labelled them wrong? I've labelled them wrong. And then I've got my ground, so they're pulled low. I've got my ground pulled high, and my 5 volts has got also a test which goes through a voltage divider, obviously, because the Raspberry Pi is only 3.3 volts. I'm trying to enjoy 3:30 AM. I know, Shaq, it's okay. Dude, totally okay. Has anyone printed out the technical referral for with 680 pages? The technical reference manual? No, I've got them all just in PDF form. It's a good read though, especially if you want to fall asleep. So I've called some headers wrong. Test 3.3, test 3.3 underscore 2. Right, text. I'm pretty sure it should be called test, not text. That should fix that. So I need to route. That's not going to fit through the middle, is it? No! I don't really need it to be 16, it's just a sense pin. Can I fit 10 through? See, I clicked 10 and it stayed on 16. I hate Eagle, it's the worst bug, and they know about it. But it's not been fixed yet. It's really frustrating. I have to go around because of the I2C. I keep thinking C on, I2C on, whenever I say I2C. Does that make me a fool? I am a fool. Sometimes I'm a fool. Most of the time. Okay. Wow, and that is the ugliest routing ever. Gotta fix that. Should be 8. Width, 8. No, was that 10? Okay. Have I missed anything? Love a good PCB, embedded design is definitely something I want to go into once I graduate. Hey Sean, don't wait till you graduate. Start straight away. It's lots of fun. It's pretty cool. Yep. Okay, so I've got. Okay, I need to hook up the test reset. I don't know why I called it test reset because it's not really a test. It's just reset. But Where does it need to go to? Hang on. Oh, I haven't got test ground set up connected yet. Okay, I'm gonna have to make some more space. So I'm jumping around a little bit. Okay. There's my test ground. I know I've gone through a pad, I'll fix that in a moment. Design for formula student projects. Yeah, look, it's I get you studying, and that's totally fine, but don't wait till you finish studying before you start. Like, if you're interested in this stuff, just jump in and just do it. The best way to learn is not theory, is actually doing. In my opinion, anyway. That's the best way I learn, but just in general, I feel like with electronics, especially with PCB stuff, you learn more by making mistakes than you do by trying to get it right or waiting till you're good enough, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Burgers? Oh, don't make me hungry. So I really want to... This is annoying that it's in the way. And I don't even know why I did that one. I should probably keep them all underneath. So let's change the layer of that. Let's put it underneath. Because why not? Okay, so... So I've got the ground test. I've got the 3.3 volt test and the 3.3 volt number 2. I need to get the 5 volt test up. And that's going to be... That's going to have to go on the outside. So I'm going to have to bring this around. And I'm going to have no space for it. But I'll deal with that in a second. I'll fix it in a sec. I could move these resistors. Imagine trying to design a microprocessor. I wouldn't be designing it like this. But yeah. So I'm not sure I went around that way. That's a bit silly. I could have just gone up. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I could have just done this. I'll move that in a second. I need to make more space again. Spacers! Everyone watch Ivan's speed train he did the other day. That was pretty cool. I just love it when he calls out spacers. I get so excited. How did you learn to do all that PCB antenna stuff? I'll have to play around with it. Lots and lots and lots of reading. Lots of talking to people. Whoa. And lots of trial and error is how I learnt. And I still know about 1% of RF. Doing it and failing is a great way to learn RF. But no, seriously, lots of reading. Reading everything I could find. There's no shortcuts to learning RF, unfortunately. I wish there was. And as I said, I know nothing about it still. Like I would claim my knowledge to be in single digits. Because it's such a broad thing, you know. Firstly, I've only really focused on the Wi-Fi band stuff. So that's the first thing. And then also, I just... yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the next thing is. You just got to jump in and do it. Oh, what have I done with my wires? I didn't fix my wires. So this should be... Oh, no. That's better. How many boards did you fail before it worked? Well, they don't fail, they just don't work as well as they could, right? I mean, the mistakes you make, forgetting about tuning, like you just, like I made the mistake where I stuck a ground plane under my board for the Fractus antenna because the Pro Ant needed one and the Rainsun I used to use needed one, and I didn't find on the documentation where it says don't have one. Turns out the documentation on another document said don't have one. And so those type of mistakes, right? I don't know, and then just, studying other people's designs and boards and trying to understand what they were. I bought a small VNA so I could understand how matching works. And, just stuff like that. I don't know. And lots of reading. And unfortunately, there's a little bit of maths involved as well. It is 8:43. Hello, Rick. If I've not said hello. Wow, so many new people. Okay, so which one haven't I done? I haven't done reset. Where's the reset? Test reset. I don't even know if I've got a test reset. And do I even need to be testing reset? I've probably not even set one up. So the idea of testing reset is so I can, if there's a short on reset, I can test for it. But, so I've got over here. So I'm pretty sure I didn't connect reset at all on my previous test jig. I don't really want to toggle. Oh no, I used to have reset so I could toggle it to restart the board, but I do that by software now. So do I want to have a I don't know if I need it. I don't know if I need a reset. Can anyone think of a good reason why I'd want to check the reset line? Better to be looking at it than looking for it. What do you mean, Brian? Sorry, what? Is that a reference to the reset line? I can't remember. There are some of these I/O that I'm not supposed to use, and I can't remember which ones they are. You want to reset the board from the Pi? No, I can do that via software. The thought was that I could have... these are just supposed to be for sense pins, right? Like reset should be high by default. And so I could detect that it's high and not incorrectly shorted. You know what I mean? Like, I could plug a board in and the board might not have a mechanical short on power, but it could have a short on the reset line, and I won't be able to flash it or detect it, but it won't fail the mechanical test. So the only way I could detect that there was a problem on the reset would be to have the reset pulled. Sorry, is to detect the reset line to see whether it's high or low. Does that make sense? So yeah, I might as well just add it. Add it and not use it is better than not adding it. So yes, okay. I agree. Let's do it. Do it once. Okay, so which one did I pick? Where is it? All the way over there, and I need to get that all the way over here. Oh, that's a really bad choice, isn't it? Maybe. So why is that not connecting? I named them the same. Oh, I connected to test VBAT. Wrong one. Test resets down here. Oh boy. One of those days. I hate hopping. Oh, and I've done it again. I haven't set my wire size. Wow. I'm with Brian. Better to connect and not need it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I just thought his comment was cryptic. That's all. I wasn't sure if he was referring to something else. Like, you guys must be finding this really boring. Like, I gotta be honest and say, I'd find watching myself do this boring. Like, I mean, there's nothing technically interesting about what I'm doing right now other than making a mess with routing. And picking really bad ways to... Oh, Eagle! To route my boards. You know, other than that... See, that was just pretty bad. So quite often I'll route something in real and then work out the better way to route it. So I could have just done this. So I will do that. Oh, Eagle! Come on! Their selection tools are really poor. They're getting better. But I'm pretty sure that none of this is going to get fixed for me. I'm going to get forced into Fusion. Okay, G-Bound's far from bored. I'm answering questions, not boring. Huh? Come for the unexpected, make a stay for the stream. I'm thinking of Homer shouting at Bart every time you shout at Eagle. Oh my god, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating, some of the little quirky things in Eagle. So I don't have a VBAT test either. Well, VBAT test is going to go out to here. Yeah, I've got to work out how I'm going to control that still. So what isn't connected apart from VBAT test? Everything's connected there. And everything is connected here except that pin's not being used. I'm pretty sure that's not connected. Yep, I have one spare not connected. Brian does have my back. Brian is just an ace guy. For those that don't know. Or ever doubted. You shouldn't. Everyone here is great. Great people. You're all great people. Hand soldering 130 power blockers. That is nuts. Okay, so... I have 3.3 volts over here. I really don't like what I've done with the... how big are these pins? No, I can get 16. How big is that? Oh, it is 12. Okay. 12 to... you see? Like Eagle. Come on. Okay. I'm going to move this resistor, which is pissing me off. Move. I'm going to stick this... Oh. Wow. Eagle, you are drunk. So if everyone wants to... If anyone wanted to know why you should learn KiCad, I'm showing you right now. They don't have to both be there, but it's probably going to be neater. Okay. I expect to make a drinking game. 1 drink for every time someone shouts at the software. You know what? If you all had to take a drink every time I shouted at my code when I'm coding, you would all be drunk 24/7. I don't think KiCad's easier to use at all. I think they're all the same. They're all different. They've all got their nuances. I just, yeah, there's just some, on the Mac specifically, there's some UI issues with Eagle that are just pissing me off, and they're in the pipeline to get fixed. I think they've already got them fixed in an internal build, but they haven't been pushed yet, and I'm getting really frustrated. Really frustrated. Have you already written the PyTest software? Can you explain a little about what it runs through for the tests? Hello, aka Soggy Buns. Yes, I have. So I've already got it fully working for my TinyPICO. And so it's obviously running Raspberry Pi, running Python. So what it does is you load the board in, and it does a mechanical test to make sure, it does a test on the ground to make sure that the board is connected. And then if the board is connected, if it sees the board, it then displays a message that says, hey, found the board, hit start to begin. You hit the start button, which is the green button over here, and it sends power to the board. And then the first thing it does is detects, for the TinyPICO, it detects that the USB is there. So if there's no short, it detects the USB, and if it finds that, it then does an erase on the ESP32 using SP tool, and during that process it also checks the chip ID and everything else and makes sure that the chip is the correct chip. And if the erase is successful, it then flashes MicroPython onto it, and then once that is done, it then installs and runs a whole bunch of tests. So it goes through and it tests every GPIO to make sure that they all are connected and working. It tests RAM does a RAM test to make sure that the RAM is correct amount. It tests that it can connect to Wi-Fi, so it starts an AP on the TinyPICO, and then the Raspberry Pi does a scan and make sure it can find it and can connect to it. And then it, what else does it do? I think that's all. And then if it passes all the tests, it deletes the test code and puts hello world code, which makes the APA flash around, and then it says done, and you pull the board off. So that's basically what it does. Slap on a QC sticker when it's done. Oh, I don't stick a sticker on it. If it doesn't pass, it goes into a, hey Stephen, it goes into a to fix bin, or to, normally it's going to be something like one of the I/O fails, which means that one of the pins on the QFN didn't reflow properly. What else? Sometimes it's the, it does a 3 volt. So if it passes the power short test, it then checks the 3 volt line and makes sure that it's getting 3 volts out. And sometimes it'll fail the 3 volt test, and that's usually because the LDO shifted a little bit when it reflowed. But generally, out of every, like I do my boards in panels of 15, out of every 15 boards, probably out of every 30 boards, I might have one board that I need to stick under the microscope and try to find out why it doesn't pass. And normally, interestingly, most of the time it fails, it's because of the pogo pins, not because of the board. So these pogo pins are wearing out. So that's another thing that I want to do with this is, hey Rick, if it's the same Rick that's in chat, again, thank you very much for backing me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Hey Capo Steve, just quickly switch to Sion. So one of the things I want to do, as I mentioned, these pogo pins, which I solder in, you all might remember my heartache on soldering these. Thanks Rick, I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Once they're soldered in, if they break, it's a real pain to get them out. So I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be putting headers on, and I'm going to be putting these pogo pins in. So if they break, I can pull them out and replace them. So on my daughter boards, so the first problem is there's a lot of height here, right? So I'm going to probably do the same. I'm going to have to somehow either get lower ones, or I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, because that's really high. Whoop. I'm gonna have to find a way of getting them shorter. I've just dropped pogo pins everywhere. So the battery test I plan to do, as I mentioned it before, but I'll just quickly mention again, is the idea with the battery test is once the board has all been tested and it's working fine, it's going to be to turn the battery on, because I don't want the battery on during the tests. I don't want the board powered any other way than via the USB, right? Otherwise, if there's a short, I can't detect it. So turn the battery on, then shut down 5-volt power to the TinyPICO to the board. So the board, if it's still running, can only be running off battery. And then if I can keep the serial connection alive, then I can just check that it's still there. If I can't keep the serial connection alive, then before I shut down the power, I'll tell one of the I/O to turn on. Like shut all the I/O off, for instance, except for I/O, as I said, 4, and then turn the battery on, turn the power off, and check that I/O 4 is still high. Because if the board loses power, I/O 4 won't be high. It'll just be nothing. So, and then if that works okay, then I can just turn the power back on and turn the battery off. That's all I need to do to check. There's no real easy way to check that the battery is charging or not charging unless I stick a whole bunch of, extra stuff on the board like a fuel gauge and stuff, and let it sit there for a period of time to make sure that the charge rate's going up. The whole idea is to test a board as quick as possible. Yeah, like can I tell you? I mean, as I said, I've tested over 5,000 TinyPICOs on 2 test jigs. I'm glad I built the second one. Like, the 40 seconds it takes to do feels like forever when you've got hundreds and hundreds of TinyPICOs sitting in front of you to test. Like, it really feels like it's taking forever. But in the scheme of things, being able to test these boards this way, I mean, I've had in the wild, I've had maybe, out of the 5,000 odd or more boards that I've shipped, honestly, I've had maybe 20 bad boards in the wild. And it's normally to do with being able to flash them, and it's normally to do with some type of nuance on someone's machine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily the machine that's at fault, but clearly the board got flashed and tested on here, right? It goes through the test jig. It goes through the flashing process multiple times because the arrays is a flashing system. Like, it's talking to the USB, right? It's got to go through the same resetting the chip, putting it into download mode, erasing it, then resetting the chip, putting it into download mode, and flashing it, right? So that's twice it has to do that process. So a board can't, if the board gets MicroPython on it and gets shipped, it's been flashed twice. So a board that's out in the wild that won't flash on someone's machine, and a few people have had them, that's a nuance, right? It's not a faulty board, it's just the cap level on the reset line isn't quite enough for that particular machine setup, or you know what I mean? Like, USB is tricky. Like, everyone's USB on every computer is slightly different voltage, and it could be a hub in the way, it could be all sorts of different things. So I've only had ever one board out in the wild where the RAM has failed, and I don't know why, because it won't pass the test jig if the rail. So if any of the tests fail on the jig, it stops. The board is left in an unusable state. Like, I don't do cleanup. It stops, the red light goes on the board, and it shows an error message on the screen of what it is. It won't finish the board if it fails the RAM test. So I don't know why the RAM would have failed. I've had one board where the RAM's failed. I've had no boards out in the wild that have had any power issues. Catcher Colin, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. I know it's late for you. Well, it's late for a lot of people. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, mate. Can the TinyPICO be programmed via the Arduino? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just plug it in and flash it. It's just an ESP32. Even though it ships with MicroPython on there, you just plug it in and flash it. The same way that you would flash one set of code from the Arduino and then plug it in and flash some other code. So look, I've been very lucky. I've had a very low, like, even those 10 or 12 boards have hurt me personally, that there's failed boards out there. It's been great. Like, these test jigs have saved my bacon, absolutely. And I would never release boards to anyone untested, which is why I need to solve this testing for everyone. Catch you later, aka Soggy Buns. Great name, by the way. Why not make a script that detects the Pico and flashes it automatically? When it's done, it prints a message. That's what this test jig does. What do you mean? Make a script that detects it and flashes it. This does that, except I deliberately have a button to press to start. Right? That's a deliberate intent. That's me. How do I explain it? Doing the start test button is a deliberate action. Okay? Plugging a board in and having it do everything for you encourages you to look away. Encourages you to not pay attention. If that makes sense? The start button is deliberate. Right? If I just plug it in and it doesn't work, like there's a short or something, like how long do I sit there waiting before I have the attention to go back and look at it again and go, oh, there's a problem. Wow, that's been sitting there for 2 minutes now and I didn't realize there was a problem. Right? Bye, Andy. Catch you later. Bye, everyone who's going. Appreciate you sticking by. So, yeah, this is a deliberate... I mean, I spoke about that a lot when I first designed this. It was a deliberate thing. Also, this was designed to run on a line in China originally. Like, the idea was to make something that was one button, one LED output, kind of something where people can sit there and test boards. And again, I felt like the button press intent was the right way to go. Because what happens is, I don't want to have a buzzer. I thought about that at the start. I didn't want buzzers going off for me personally. And I had no I/O left on it to do that. But yeah, this was originally designed to be used by other people. And I can't remember what, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. So I clearly haven't got this. I hope you know that was a joke. What was the joke? I missed it at a buzzer. No, it's not a joke. It actually makes sense. Like if there's an error, like sometimes it's testing and I'll walk away. So if I'm reworking a board while I'm testing on 2 different jigs while I've got stuff in the oven, like often I'll go and check something in the oven and come back and a finished or failed board will be sitting there for a few minutes, right? Like if it did buzz, then that would grab my attention. So it's, does your PNP come with such a stoplight pole? Are we talking about that? Wait, where's my finger? Oh, that's really hard to do. If you're talking about that, yes it does. Move the button and set it so you have to solve a Rubik's Cube. Sorry. I moved to a buzzer and found it better. Yeah, look, I could. So again, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I've got no I/O left on here. There is no place to physically connect a buzzer to. Because on my TinyPICO, I used up every single I/O on my GPIO header on the Raspberry Pi. Which is, again, one of the reasons why I've gone for not just sharing I/O between the Raspberry Pi and these muxes, but putting all of my I/O on the muxes, so I have all of my I/O free on here for expandability. So I could do that. I could stick a buzzer on here right now, no problem, and then either use it or not use it. And maybe I will. Maybe I should. What is your new pick and place machine? Is there a video about it? On Friday. The machine rocked up yesterday, and I have an unboxing video coming out on Friday. Stay tuned. Plug in a speaker to the Pi. Into the Pi where? There's no... Oh, right, into the audio port. Well, I could do that too, I guess. That's a good point. That is a very good point. You're excited. I'm excited. Unboxing of a Neodyne S1. For RF, you must use Ansoft HFSS software. Do you use this? No, I don't use that. HFSS software. Never heard of it. Don't know what it is. Same time Friday. So it'll be coming out either my either my Thursday night, which is everyone's Thursday, or maybe Friday night, which is everyone's Friday ish. Yeah, I don't know yet. Looks more like, oh my god, uncrating. It was, yeah, it's big. It was heavy. There's a story involved, and I got spoilers. I got a lot of it on time lapse, but not all of it. There was a part that I couldn't get on time lapse because I had someone else come to help, and they didn't want to be on video. So that's fair enough. Can you regulate the voltage of the battery somehow and test at various voltages? Like test what happens at low voltage and all. Possibly. Maybe. I mean, that's, for me, it's more about, does it run off the battery? Like, for me, it's is the battery connector connected, right? Is that soldered on correctly? If not, it won't work. Type thing, right? In this case, it's not testing this because I don't have a battery connected directly to it. And that's the other thing. That's the other reason I didn't finish the battery testing on my TinyPICO, is because, like my USB, the battery side might work, but the connector might not be on properly. And if I don't plug a battery directly into that, I can't test it. So what happens with my TinyPICO testing is every TinyPICO, before it gets put in a bag, so it gets tested, it gets ultrasonically cleaned, it gets an antenna put on, and just before it goes in the bag, one moment, before it goes in the bag, every single TinyPICO gets connected to a battery to test it. Every single one, to make sure it's good, and then it gets put in a bag. So, well, great view. What? Behind me, it's a beast. Yeah, it's not a little charm high anymore. It's a proper. It's still small, but it's a proper machine. Very exciting. Do I ever use digital potentiometer? I've actually got a couple of digital potentiometers in my shopping cart on LCSC right now for an idea I've got for something, but it's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work, because the problem with the digital pot is, like, you get one that's like 0 to 50k or 0 to 100k, and then they're preset steps, and I need something that's got a large range but a very small steps. So they usually have like 10 steps or maybe 12 steps. I need something that's got like 50 steps between 0 and 100, and I haven't found any. So yeah, they're not for fast switching. Why are you trying to switch a digital pot fast? Thanks, Technolog. Clearly I'm not going to get this board fully finished right now. It's 9:10 and my kids have got school soon. I did get further than I actually expected. Seen yesterday on DigiKey. 1024 steps. Oh, which one? It was on DigiKey? What, on where? In an email or on a video? 1024 steps on a digital pot. If that is true, maybe that will do what I need. Or it depends on the price, and it depends on the size of the package. Stop talking about food. Yeah, I'm hungry. Can it make burgers? What, a digital pot or my board? Oh! I have to go check all my traces. They're all weird sizes now. Look at that. See here? Different size. Okay, so soft power. Yes, it doesn't like me going through there, but that's fine. Not changing the pot value, but rather the signal through it has a limited bandwidth. Like if you want to make an adjustable gain amp, the signal through the amp will have limited... Right, okay. But that would come down to the precision of the pot. Like, I'm sure that at the cheaper end, you'd have more issues than at the higher end. Virtually most DACs are pots between reference and ground. Interesting. Helmet? Okay. So on something that okay, so let's say on a charge, this is not what the idea is for, but on a charge IC, right? So like on my TinyPICO, there's a 3.3K resistor connected to the PMIC for the battery that controls the charge rate. So if I wanted to make that programmable, I mean, you could use a digital pot, right? And a digital pot in that particular case would probably work, because I only need a pot that can go up to, you know, between 1K and 10K. And so as long as I can clamp it and don't let it go lower than 1, it'd be interesting, then the steps are fine, because it's an approximation. But how would that work with a DAC? Like, what is the actual charge IC sensing off the resistor? Like, it's like that. It would be working as a voltage divider. There'd be some type of resistor inside the IC. Catch you later, Shaq. Thanks for joining. Got a meeting at 10 a.m. What time is it there? No, it's fine. I think I'm used to your sarcasm, Shaq. I hope I am. So all good, mate. All good. Thanks for joining. Good luck with your meeting. So yeah, I'm assuming inside the PMIC there's a resistor, and then the other resistor works like a voltage divider, and that's how it detects, right? So how would that work from a DAC? If I was to have the outside resistor, instead of being a resistor, be a DAC, would that work? $10K. Okay, there's a max. Okay, but that's only to 10K. I need to 100K. Actually, no, I need to. What I really need is to 175K. I need 0 to 175K with as many steps as possible, ideally. So I figured to 100K I could use 2 of them somehow. But I'm assuming that that would be not cheap, right? Let's have a look, shall we? I'm quite keen to have a look and see if I can find where my web window has gone. Where's my web? Oh. Okay. So let's look at this max one. Yeah, $13. Yeah, a little bit pricey. That's the problem. I can't do that. Right. So these are $4, $4.20 Australian in 2,500 price break. So that's a third of my BOM cost. I can't. Yeah, that's not an option. Right. This is 50K ohm, 50 kilo ohm. So what was this other one? Hey, Chuz 666. Just get a decent PMIC with an I2 interface, and you want to change the things. Yeah, sure. So I'll stick a $7 PMIC on there instead. Yeah, not an option, right? So it's all about BOM costs, really. 10K, 1 circuit, 124 taps, SPI interface. SPI, wow. I mean, again, way too expensive. Try Mauser for that part, sure. So cheaper than a normal pot and a micro servo. And so they've gotten better since the last time I looked. They're 700 kilohertz through point, not bad for a lot of physical processors. Where'd you see $1.27? don't know which one you're looking at. Anyway, it's right. And the other problem with some of these is, so this particular one, for instance, is it's not one output for the whole range. I don't believe. Is it? Oh, it is. Right, you got the A and the wipers. You don't have an A and a B and the wiper, but that's okay. DN, clock, sync, out, VDD. Right, okay, yeah. Anyway, it's too pricey. I can't afford to put something like this on the board. The idea that I'm thinking of. It's got to be massively cheaper than this. Massively. Which is not going to happen. But thanks, folks. Can only be written 50 times. What? Can what only be written 50 times? So I wasn't reading. I wasn't looking at that. Was that in the data sheet? I missed it. Okay, I'm running out of time, folks. But other than the... I just have to solve this. Not solve. I just have to implement this, which is the load switch directly to the battery. And what I might also do, yeah, is just hook up, stick a diode against one of the I/O and connect and put pins for a buzzer. Hey, Photochromax, just in time for the end of the stream. Keep in mind most digital pots are for volume controls without brush noise of physical pots. Yeah, I just want a programmable pot. But the question is, will a DAC do that? Will a DAC do what I want? Like, it doesn't have to be a high precision DAC either. Like maybe even the... Yeah, I don't know. No worries, James. Thanks for joining. And it's good to see you again. Hey, Yasir. You tuned in just in time for the end of the stream. Sorry. Yeah, so I might stick a buzzer on here, or at least pins for a buzzer. You didn't get a notification. Silly YouTube. Sorry, mate. Sorry. And get this done, and then, yeah, these boards here, these are easy, right? Because the boards are just the pins with wired pin to pin on roughly a board this size. So I got further than I thought I would. I don't know if Paul's still here. If Paul's still here, did I lose? 256 steps, 200k for $1.72 at 2,500 pieces. Yeah. It's better, but still 2,500 pieces is a big commitment for a chip. Yeah, I don't know. Paul is still here. Did I lose? Who won? The distracted or the got the board kind of done? I feel like I did an okay job. Although I haven't got 3.3 volts connected here. I think I did okay, considering. Haven't run a DRC test. Also have to work out the addressing. I haven't got addresses set up on the MUX. Have to do that as well. I'm calling that not distracted. Timed out. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Thanks, James. Have a good sleep, mate. Half. Bummer. Okay, folks. Pick and place video coming soon. It's just an unboxing. Just letting you know. Don't get too excited. Still pretty cool. And yes, I will be making lots of... It's a Neoden S1. Brand new machines from Neoden. So brand new that I can't even get my data out of Eagle. Hopefully someone emailed me some Centroid files from Altium and I could do some comparing and stuff. I'm still waiting on my feeders, so I can't even run anything on it anyway yet. But yeah, I will have lots of videos in the future about this pick and place and this part of the journey. I did it with my Charm High. I'm going to do it again with this. You'll all get lots of sexy pick and place stuff to see, I promise you. yeah, it was a pricey, big decision for me. I and denard. Yeah, I think Johnny said he was going to. A few other people might have as well. I denard on this for a really long time, but I had to move on from the Charm High. And I did. It's gone to a good home, and now I have this beast to learn. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who jumped on Patreon while the stream happened. I really appreciate it. Rick and Scott, I think, both of you. And I will catch you all, on my next video. Bye. Cheers. Take care. End button. Hello. There it is.